So the next section in chapter 3 is 3.8, chemical equations. So a chemical equation shows us what happens during a chemical change or a chemical reaction. So a chemical change involves a reorganization of the atoms in one or more substances, and it can be represented by a chemical equation, which is what is shown here. So always on our left side are reactants, and on the right side are our products. So reactants is what we're starting with, products is what we get. All of the atoms in the reactants must be accounted for in the products. So the way that we make sure that this rule is obeyed is called balancing the chemical reaction. So if we look at this chemical reaction that we were given, so we have our CH4 plus O2 on the left and CO2 plus H2O on the right. So we always look at how many of each atom we have on each side. So for example, in CH4 we have 4 hydrogens and 1 carbon, and then we have 2 oxygens. In our reactants, on our product side, we have 3 oxygens total, 1 carbon, and 2 hydrogens. So the basic rule of thumb is to start with the most complicated compound, but in this case they're all pretty much equal. So if we look at oxygen, we see that we only have 2 on this side, but we have 3 on this side. So if we add a 2 in front of our oxygen on the left side, that gives us a total of 4 hydrogens, 1 carbon, and 4 oxygens. Okay, so now let's look at our other side. We have CO2 plus H2O. So here we have 2 hydrogens and 3 oxygens. So if we put a 2 in front of here, we have a total of 4 hydrogens, 4 oxygens, and 1 carbon. So now the reactant side matches the product side. So check, it's balanced. Okay. So the next thing that we should look at are chemical reaction symbols. So this tells us a little bit more about our reaction. So if we have a solid in our reaction, it's always symbolized in parentheses, lowercase s. If we have a liquid, it says cursive L, lowercase, a gas, lowercase g, in parentheses. And if it's something that's dissolved in water, it's known to be an aqueous solution. So the symbol for that is AQ. And again, it is always in parentheses. Okay, so our chemical reaction shows us what we're starting with and what we got from our reaction and all of the different states and how many molecules and moles that we have for each.